Andrew.
Hey, Jack, how are you?
Good.
Hi, Andrew. Here, good morning from Taipei.
Yeah, good morning, Jay. We all miss, at least I miss Taipei. I don't know how many other people here are in the same boat as I am, where we miss Taipei.
Well, we got to bring you back here.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Everybody is excited to, to hear the good news from you, and also everyone here is looking forward to seeing you in person.
Yeah, I'd be excited too. You probably know I have a lot of family there, including parents.
Of course.
Plus my boys have some cousins there.
Okay.
Donate.
Yeah,
Your parents are still in Yangmei?
Yep.
Great. Now then you have to visit them for sure. Hopefully before the inauguration. Yeah.
I guess that would be the timing. It's true.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. Look forward. Yeah. Let's confirm that soon, maybe. Yeah.
You know, the easiest thing about it, Jay, is that my wife Evelyn loves Taiwan too, so that makes it easy, because then like it's not like any burden. Like it's just like a cause of like comfort, excitement.
That's great. That's great. Yeah.
Okay, I think it's let's wait 1 more minute. There have a couple of people willing to join. I just sent to them, and we're going to start it. Okay, soon.
Hey Hannah. Hey Victoria. It's good to see everyone. Claudia.
Hey, good to see you, Andrew.
Good to see you too.
Hello.
Now, right?
I don't know if you all can tell, but I'm in Georgia. We put a peach behind my head just to see.
Now we see.
It'll work.
Yeah. Okay, today's our program is going to run like 45 minutes, and just try to put all the people together. And most people is coming from API community. We didn't send the email blast through our humanity forward. So this is most is go through my personal connection, and I send the major supporter list to Andrew already, and I just make a very quick announcement. If you have any question, we reserve the like 30 minutes for the people ask for question. I think Andrew arrived in Georgia yesterday. So this event is a perfect timing to welcome people, and I personally appreciate every single people you donate to Humanity Forward and donate to this campaign. This is probably the last one this year or API do the fundraising. So it's thank you so much. I turn to the mic to Jay Liang to do the opening remark. Thank you, Jay. It's your turn.
Thank you, Don, and thank you, Andrew, and thank you, everyone here. It's been a wonderful 1 month, I would say. Earlier last month, we planned the Andrew's online offline event in Taipei, and we made it very successful. We had a huge turnout and a lot of follow-up. The whole room was crowded, and luckily we could have a big conference in Taiwan. And Andrew made a wonderful speech there, and the response have been very positive. And and after that, of course, we say the winning election, and hopefully we will win all the way till the last mile in Georgia as well. It's a wonderful day. Not only in Taipei, I'm going to golf very soon, but also it's a wonderful day in Georgia. We just got certified by the electoral votes, 16 more there in Georgia. It's turning blue for sure, not only for the presidential campaign, but also for the Senate race. And I would highly applaud the Andrew's effort in Georgia. Hopefully by 2 more weeks from now, we'll see more progress there in the transition team. And also 2 months from now, we'll see hopefully the new president. Oh, by the way, it's a good day for to Joe Biden as well. It's his birthday, and I think it's a wonderful birthday gift. But anyway, going forward, we will see a lot of supporters coming together for sure. And hopefully we will get more people to support humanity forward and to support Joe Biden's administration. And that's pretty much what I would say here. And I look forward to seeing everyone in Taipei to welcome you here. Here is a safe and sweet and I would say a warm country here. And look forward to seeing you everyone here. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Next is Rachel. Rachel is from Los Angeles, California. Rachel, your turn. Thank you.
Yeah. Everyone, thanks for taking time from your busy Friday schedule to come here to engage in an all-important discussion today. Georgia is on the momentum. Not only has Georgia flipped from red to blue in the November-January election, but also sent both U.S. Senate seats to the January 5th runoff elections to give the Democrats their hope to have 50 Senate seats with the vice president to break any ties if we want to pass the urgently needed policies. All eyes are on Georgia now. A Georgia Democrat organizer told me that the Asian American voter registration there was doubled in November. In Southern California, where I am from, 3 Korean Americans were elected into Congress for the first time. Impossibles are doable, and no one knows this better than Andrew, the first Asian American presidential candidate that stood tall and long at the podium. I came to Atlanta, Georgia, and witnessed the nationally televised debate there in person in the Tyler Perry studio. Andrew knows about campaigns inside and out. So today we are so very fortunate to have him here and hear from him how we can all help in this historic runoff election. Again, thanks everyone for coming and happy early Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you. You know, Rachel is the most smartest guy in our young gang here in California. We have a very wonderful fundraising in her house, and she continued to support all the API here. It's both locally and nationwide. So thank you so much. And you are so smart. Have all the numbers there. Thank you. And the next is I want to invite Joe Wong, and he has organized help humanity forward after election. Now he's continue to support us, and so far he raised like 50,000. Just very the big contributor. Thank you, Joe. It's your turn.
Yeah, thank you, Don. Thank you, Don. I'm happy to report that the National Asian American PAC has voted to support Andrew and his campaign to help the 2 Democratic senator candidates in Georgia. Our job is not finished. It was a very closely contested election, and our friend, Mr. Trump, is not conceding. Well, never mind about him not conceding. He has no choice. But our job is not finished, because in the past 4 years, the GOP senators have not been minding Americans' interests. It's very partisan. Our PAC is basically nonpartisan. However, being Asian American, we have to give Joe Biden the tools in the Senate to push through his agenda. I'm sure that Mitch McConnell and the other Senator Graham, they're going to be obstacles in allowing Joe Biden to succeed so that they can go through another campaign in 2024. So it is very important that we support the campaign in Georgia. And I'm glad to report that the National Asian American PAC has voted strongly to do so. So we'll be supporting Andrew's campaign in Georgia. Thank you.
That's fantastic news. Thank you, Joel.
Thank you, Joe. And I didn't ask for, okay, you contribute again. Thank you. Okay, let's turn to the mic to our Deputy Director, Conrad Tyler, to just give us a first line, the front line, what's the situation in Georgia there, and give us a little bit of update, and let's know what we can do at the API community. And I know it's I personally working for Andrew now it's almost 2 years. I know the entire Asian community had the Yang effect already. So let's make a last senator race, turn to the Yang effect to turn all the Asian out there. Thank you, Conrad.
Thank you, Don. Thank you everyone for being here and for your support as always. As you know, Andrew is very logical in his decision making. So one of our goals as an organization at Humanity Forward, and really our main goal right now, is to get some form of monthly stimulus checks passed in Congress. So when the Georgia results started shaking up and it was clear that these two runoffs were going to be the key to kicking Mitch McConnell out of the majority and actually putting forward legislation such as monthly cash relief, such as some iteration of universal basic income, was winning these two Senate seats, Yang logically thought, we got to go down to Georgia and make a difference here. We need to fight, and we need to be sending resources to the Warnock campaign, to the Ossoff campaign, and to the incredible organizers on the ground. So that is our vision. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be supporting the fantastic work that folks on the ground here in Georgia have been doing in a variety of ways. So we've identified 4 constituencies where we can be effective over the course of the next few weeks here in Georgia. The first is the African American community. We have a deep connection here with a number of Black voter advocacy groups. We're going to be doing an event with the WNBA and other athletes here in Atlanta. The second is poorer, less urban communities outside of Atlanta. So a lot of the democratic fundraising and organizing that happens in Georgia is very Atlanta based, and in many situations, rightfully so. But Andrew is going to be traveling outside of the urban core and actually interacting with voters in other places, doing canvassing kickoffs, such as in Columbus, Georgia. The third constituency is young people. Everyone knows how much young people believe in Andrew's vision. That is no exception here in Georgia. We're currently scheduling Get Out the Vote events with organizations such as the Georgia High School Democrats, who are so excited that Andrew is here fighting for young people in Georgia. And the fourth group, which is by far the most important, is the AAPI community here in Georgia. There is no doubt in my mind that the AAPI vote is part of what turned Georgia blue this year. It's not just me that thinks that. The numbers really bear that out. So we've connected to a number of partners on the ground. For example, and this is not public yet, we're next Sunday, pretty soon, we're going to be hosting a large API meet and greet with API leaders at an urban farm here in Atlanta. There's going to be a lot of API business leaders that are there, many of which are actually still on the fence of who they want to support. And we really think that Andrew is going to go a long way in convincing them that Warnock and Ossoff are the right folks for the job. So what you're doing here today, being with us, it really empowers us and the incredible organizers on the ground to do what needs to be done. So I'm so grateful, but there's no one more grateful than the visionary himself, our fearless leader, Andrew Yang, if you want to take it away.
Thank you, Conrad. It is true. I am very grateful. Super grateful in particular to some of the people that made today possible. You heard from a couple of them, Jay Liang and Rachel Yang. Thank you so much. But also Vincent Wang, Ming Jiang, Ziggy William, and Jack Yao. You guys are incredible and you make our work possible. So thank you very, very much. And if I didn't read your name out, you just didn't give enough money, or you didn't tell Don, or whatever it is. So we're here in Georgia. We're super excited. We have these events lined up with the Asian American community, with young voters, college Democrats as well. We have an event upcoming. like Conrad said, to me, it's going to be very, very hard for Joe to get a lot of things done unless he has a government he can work with. And we've all seen Mitch McConnell play obstructionist for the Obama years, and he signaled immediately that he might not even be willing to confirm cabinet secretaries. You can see what's going on with this transition where Donald Trump is still refusing to concede. And I just talked to folks at the Biden transition team today, and they are still not talking to folks in government. Like ordinarily, those conversations would have been going on for days and weeks. But now you're seeing them just having to try and figure out how to take power without talking to the people who are still in these agencies. And that is unprecedented in my lifetime, I believe. Like, you know, at this point, there's a lot of work to do to assume power. And can you imagine trying to assume power when you can't talk to anyone who's currently in power? I mean, that's a very, very imperfect situation. So we have massive impediments before us, and at the same time, an economic crisis on top of a pandemic. The numbers are getting worse, not better. You're like the New York City schools just shut down again. You're going to see many businesses that are impacted. There's a curfew that just declared in California where some of you are. So the economic climate is still very, very dim, and a lot of people's savings are running out. There are numbers around an eviction crisis in January. Over 10 million people are going to be having problems affording shelter and food over the next 2 to 3 months. And one of my great fears during the stimulus negotiations was that we were going to hit the lame duck session right now and not have any relief out the door post the CARES Act back in March and April. And that's where we are. I also just heard from someone who's been in touch with members of Congress who are privately saying they do not expect any relief until the new year. And the new year probably means, because of the calendar, February, because the new administration's not sworn in until Jan 20, Jan 21. So it's going to be a very, very difficult, long winter for many, many Americans. And one of the only lights at the end of the tunnel is imagining a robust response in the new year that can start to turn the tide. And that's only possible if you have a Senate that will not quash any attempt to help the American people, as right now the Senate seems poised to do under Mitch McConnell. So we have a chance here to do something profound and actually flip the Senate, give Joe a unified government to help dig us out of this mess, and also continue to affirm Georgia's status as a swing state and potentially a state that Democrats can compete in for years to come. So if we register voters here in Georgia, that's not just a now thing, that's like an evergreen thing. I just talked to a national reporter today who went through the Georgia AAPI voter numbers because she is looking at doing a story about how Asian Americans swung Georgia. And by the math, Asian Americans swung Georgia. Asian Americans are now poised to be the swing vote in swing states around the country. 4.7% doesn't sound like a lot until you see an election get decided by 19,000 or 21,000 votes. You know what I mean? Then 4.7% seems like quite a lot. And then if you're going 2 to 1 for Democrats, then you do the math and you're like, wow, Asian Americans made the difference in Georgia, in Michigan, in Pennsylvania, and a lot of these states that are very, very, very tight. So we have an opportunity now to do something very, very positive for the country, which is to try and bring our government to a point where we'll actually get something done. We have a chance to further our work in activating and animating Asian American voters in Georgia and around the country. So my decision to come here, I have to say, I'll give you the story, just because it's fun, probably. So the comedian Dave Chappelle invited me to Saturday Night Live when he was hosting, because he and I are friendly now. His wife's Asian, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. You can look up Elaine Chappelle. So Saturday happens to be the day that Joe is declared the winner. I am very eager to bring Evelyn to Saturday Night Live because it's like the first genuine date night we've had in like weeks or months, and Evelyn puts up with so much stuff. So I was like, well, this is actually like a really good date. I mean, Saturday Night Live, Dave Chappelle, et cetera, et cetera. So we're driving towards Rockefeller Center, and we're talking about the results of the election. And then I tell her, hey, it looks like Democrats are going to lose the Senate unless we win these 2 races on January 5th. Then Kamala's the tiebreaker, and then Democrats have the Senate. And she said, Democrats can still win the Senate? And I was like, yeah, they win these elections January 5th. And then she said, we have to do everything we can to help. And I was like, I agree. And I was thinking to myself, I kind of wanted to come to Georgia and like fight it out. But then Evelyn literally suggested we should go to Georgia. And then when she said that, like I felt this like massive, surge of exhilaration, because I was like, well, if Evelyn's into it, then we're definitely doing this thing. So I was like, hey, if you want to go, like I definitely want to go. And so from that point, and then I sent it out that night because I thought, well, it's very important to focus people's attention on these races, because these races are where the action is and the impact is. So that was the story of our decision to come here. Also, on a very small side note, because there are many Asians here, I then met Bowen Yang, who played me on SNL after the after the episode. I just went down. We had a nice time together. Bowen actually might come here to Atlanta. Apparently, he's spending the holidays here, so he said he might campaign with me while he's down here. A couple of other celebrities have also reached out to me about that. So incredibly grateful to you all for helping to support our work here and supporting Joe in this campaign. On another note, since I'm sure some of you are curious, we have been talking to the administration. They have been asking me about my thoughts on particular roles. So there is a possibility that those conversations just proceed. But first things first, and even the folks I talked to from the Biden administration said, important thing is what you're doing in Georgia. Like they know it too. It's like they're trying to put together a government, but at the same time, what happens on January 5th is going to determine the shape of that government in a very profound way. So thank you all. Appreciate the heck out of you. It really does make me very proud and warms my heart that we can come in a direction and that you will support us in this direction. So thank you for answering the call. I really appreciate it. I truly am the most grateful person on this call.
Thank you, Andrew. Today's things in the West Coast, it's only 2:30. A lot of donors, they couldn't join, but they go through the online, made a donation already. So this is a pretty small scale.
Fine. I actually prefer it when people just send money, Don. You know that. Kidding. It's a joke.
Yeah. So it's let's do some question and answer. Before that, I want to introduce Jeff here. And Jeff is from Atlanta in Georgia. Hi, Jeff.
Hello.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I know you consistently write article on the Chinese media. Most there is, I think, like 2/3 of my friends around me, they are Republican or independent. So you know how tough if we run this, turn Georgia into blue. It's a very, very challenging. So I appreciate Jeff from Atlanta. You help me and also the other leaders, and we working together. One thing to Andrew, I just want to ask you is people always think they want to keep Senator right to have a little bit of balance instead of just turn entire country into too progressive, or they labeled it as a socialism program, those kind of things. How you answer this kind of a concern?
Well, first, I'd express some degree of understanding and empathy, because bipartisanship sounds like a great way to go, and we all believe in checks and balances, in most times. What I would say is that, first, even if these 2 Senate races go to Democrats, you're going to have many very, very centrist, moderate Democrats who are going to be the effective deciding vote in the Senate. I'm thinking about figures like Joe Manchin of West Virginia, who's a Democrat, but quite conservative because he represents West Virginia. And so there's, in my mind, zero chance of like a very, very like extremist agenda coming through the Senate, even if you do have this hair's breadth 50-50 split with Kamala as the tiebreaker, because you'd have to win over Joe, you'd have to win over some other folks that are like Joe in the Democratic Party that are very, very much toward the middle. The other thing I would say is that we're in a crisis right now, and we can tell that Washington's response to a crisis is not very good. Again, they haven't been able to get anything done since March or April. This isn't enabling an extreme agenda. This is just enabling any kind of competent response. An extreme agenda, you're enabling baseline functioning. would be my argument that against people who fear that a unified government will lead to something very, very over dramatic. I mean, half of independent restaurants may fail in the next number of days.
Thank you. And I think it's my system a little bit tricky here. And the people, if you have a question, you can jump in. Otherwise, I'm going to have another question for Andrew. And okay, after my question, okay, it's very quick. Andrew, could you give us some kind of a daily schedule in Georgia, and how many events average you have, and what's the Asian community there? How, in general impression, how enthusiastic they are there? It's I have like a 40 API organization name list there. I'm going to send to you and Conrad, and we really want to get all the Asian community to get involved in this runoff, because most people, they vote in general, but they don't coming out to vote again, especially Asian. They said, okay, we
yeah, true.
For the president, and we don't know what the senator means or it's a congressional means. They just know presidential election is important. So how we can deliver the message to Asian community in Georgia, make sure they all coming out the second time.
Yeah, we have to reach people where they are. If you have a list of 40 organizations, please send it over, because we'd love to be able to reach out to them and figure out if there's a way we can activate the people in that community. They're not alone, but I think you're right. Asian Americans in particular are going to have to require some activation and explanation. In terms of my everyday schedule, it really varies, but I will say that right now, like I'm still doing a lot of stuff online, like now I kind of toggle between real life analog events and then still beaming into various things, which is funny, because like you're in Georgia and you're just like, well, shouldn't I be like doing in-person things all the live long day? But this is a great example. You know what we're doing right now? Raising money for Georgia. You know where I am, in a freaking man cave staring at my computer. So there's like a fair amount of that here in Georgia too. Like I think you all know me in the organization. We just want to do what works. And so if there is a window of time when being online is still more effective, then I do that. But the great thing about being here in Georgia is you have an option of going in person to a WNBA event that will get local press. You have the ability to reach out to voters more effectively where they work and live.
Thank you. I hope personally you have some kind of a vacation there as well, so it's that you can relax a little bit. And I see your calendar is all full with the interview, all the event there, and the Conrad did an excellent job. And thank you. And now it's the
I just want to throw in too. Another thing I do a fair amount of, you probably sense it, is like press. Like we're constantly just trying to like talk to folks about what we're doing here, and then seeding stories in various ways. So that's also, it tends to be virtual.
Okay, let's go to the Joe. After Joe is Jack Gao, and after Jack Gao is Hannah. Go ahead, Joe. Unmute yourself. Joe, unmute yours. Joe, unmute yours.
Okay, I have a question that concerns all Chinese Americans. A couple of weeks ago, Newsweek had an article saying that, over 600 organizations here in America is directly controlled by the PRC, and that those organizations take orders from PRC. Of course, this is sensational. It sells, Newsweek is on the downtrend, and they want to make news. Papa is going to send out a letter saying that Asian American are assets to the relation between China and America. Because we understand the culture, America is great because of our diversity. A lot of Asian American, they come here to school, and then after they got educated, you kick them back. It doesn't make sense. China is going to overtake America as the biggest economy because they have 4 times the people. America should compete on the quality rather than the quantity. In other words, our GDP is much higher than China, and if we take care of our technical and our scientific skills, we will be ahead in quality, but not in quantity. So America is fixated on China being, they're really paranoid about China being the biggest economy. What can the Joe Biden administration help to understand that decoupling rather than interconnected in the world economy is good for the world, it's good for the United States, and other than being adversarial, can we compete in an intelligent and minus a sensational manner?
Thanks, Joel. I've had conversations with Joe about this, and he's naturally very internationalist and bent. I think people know that, and he also is very committed to the Asian American community in terms of representation in a way that hopefully will help balance the perspective of like the encroachers or Chinese Americans somehow representing like anything other than America. So I'm optimistic on this level. And I'm with you that there are certain news outlets that are always trying to make news in a particular way, in a way that's not accurate or terribly positive for the Asian American community. And that it's one reason why I think we need to continue to get the word out about what we're doing at all times. And when I say we, I mean the work you're doing, the work we're doing here at Humanity Forward, the work people are doing in our communities. Like we have to do a better job of getting those messages out. And affirming that, of course, we care deeply about what's happening right here in our country, America, like our kids are here, like, et cetera, et cetera. It's one reason I'm so grateful to you all for your support, because I think that people sense that I am trying to solve for very big issues that affect our community, but also all Americans. And so by supporting me in this movement, we can actually broaden what people think of as Asian American political interests.
Thank you, Andrew. And next is I think it's Jack Gao. Jack, your
I have a question for Andrew Young, because in DFW area we have Biden group. A lot of the people, Chinese American, actually support Biden and voted for Biden, like postcard writing, testing, and phone call. So they are asking how we can help Andrew Young down there, Atlanta, like can do testing, can do, whatever we can support.
Well, thank you. I love questions that go, how can we help? So it's about first is the direct and personal. If people in Georgia, make sure that they know about the election, make sure that they're registered to vote, and make sure that they understand the importance of this. The second is this kind of thing where sending money is helpful, and we'll put it to maximal use. And then the third thing is they want to volunteer, then they can volunteer as a phone banker, text banker, long distance canvasser for either of the senatorial campaigns, Ossoff and Warnock. The other thing, when you say donate, it's Humanity Forward. There are also community organizations that are trying to get out the vote. that I've been trying to raise visibility and money for, because I think that's a very effective way to channel donations right now. We don't have that much time. This is very interesting. It's like a sprint. And one of the dangers when you're in a sprint environment is that money gets poorly spent. Honestly, like that's like a very, very common phenomenon in this kind of situation. So if you feel confident in the direction resources are going, then it's much easier to donate. And so it's one reason we try to identify community orgs that are already on the ground.
Yeah, actually, I actually participate in the one fundraising, but I get it from WeChat. But when I see listening, I not really trust in them. You're talking about they are independent, not really bound to Democrats. So you probably voted for Republicans. So I need to know the credible group, fundraising, and then the link I can send to my group, and then they will donate from there.
Well, thank you, Jackie. I mean, certainly you can trust us, and the stuff we're directing people to is very highly vetted and trustworthy. There is a lot of stuff out there that you have to be a little bit dubious of, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jack, and thank you for your dedicated support. And every time we will have a fundraising, I always count on you. Thank you. And next is Hannah. Hannah is a long-term Yangon and member, and also I think Hannah now is in Georgia already. Hannah,
yeah, I heard the call. So I'm down in Georgia, helping Humanity Forward Georgia with, I guess, their infrastructure and helping them out with Yangon who also want to come down here. So yeah, I know that there are people who are very eager to help in ways that are strategic and effective in filling in the gaps. So, Georgia Yangon wanted to ask you, Andrew, how do you plan to effectively communicate and engage the volunteers who are following your lead? And also those helping remotely. I mean, I know you've answered a lot of these questions in general, but I feel like Yangon specifically would like to see the overall vision for how we can help.
Well, thanks, Hannah. Thank you for being here. I love Humanity Forward Georgia so much. I just saw Lacey yesterday, so she came by. I don't know, you probably seen Lacey. Right now, it's been a balancing act for us because there's been a little bit of waiting for certain other entities to get organized. And if you're in a sprint environment the way we are right now, the thing you want to avoid is trying to recreate the wheel and be like trying to scrounge together intel on an environment that you just had major campaigns already devote weeks and months getting people out. So I'm actually very sympathetic to this in the sense that super grateful to you and other folks who are here trying to help, and wish that we all had a little bit more in the way of concrete action steps we could take in communities in the most concrete ways, just like, hey, do you have a door knocking list? Do you have a canvassing list? Can we like take this and like go activate some voters? Right now, we are waiting for the campaigns to furnish those things, in part because they're trying to figure out what their activities look like, given that there's concern about COVID. So this is something that we're with you on, and I wish I could provide more direct, like, hey, like these are the neighborhoods, these are the doors. I individually have like obviously like a slightly different role in the sense that like I can activate people and go through media and the rest of it. But I would love to be able to provide volunteers with more direct connectivity to things that we can do on the ground.
thank you, Hannah. Actually,
but Hannah, we should hang out while you're here, in obviously a very socially distanced, responsible way. I mean,
absolutely, I love that.
Yeah. One thing is that just follow the topic. Actually, it's in California, including myself, we already tried to book the flight already, and we canceled the last minute. We have a California elected official delegation going to group fly to the Georgia, and the last minute that we decided that we don't go there, just try to do remote campaign for Andrew and the entire Asian community. But I don't.
Can I ask a question, Andrew? Because the mail-in vote is a very essential in this round in the general election, and in Georgia again there will be mail-in vote. So from the sort of a technology point of view, how could we harness the new technology? How do we ensure reach out and harness more mail-in vote for our two candidates, because this is a new thing. But from here, maybe in the future, it's playing more and more important role. But in terms of the testing ground this time in Georgia, how do we use our new technology and especially for the AAPI community?
Yeah, Rachel, it's a great point, because I think mail-in voting and early voting starts, I want to say December 14th or something like that. You have between December 14th and January 5th. And I'd suggest that this is actually a very, very good opportunity for us, because if you ask us to animate voters to go on one day, that's actually harder and trickier than hitting them continuously for a number of weeks saying, hey, you should vote. Like, you can vote by mail. Like, here you go. So there are a couple of different very, very key dates. One is December 7th, which is the last voter registration deadline. So there are some folks who still didn't register, tens of thousands in the state for sure. There's even like this very narrow category of voters that I find exciting, even though it's probably low tens of thousands. And that's people that turned 18 between November 3rd and December 7. Or there's actually an even longer window. But I think I saw a count. There are like 20,000 new 18-year-olds. so you could get them to register and vote. This should play to our strength, because we can target people digitally every day between December 14th and January 5th, and then rack up the early votes and the mail-in votes. And we all saw how that went nationally.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Rachel. Next is I would call William Shadley, and follow with William is Zaki Williamson.
Hey, Andrew had already responded to me in a personal chat, but I just wanted to thank him again for inspiring me to get into politics. I was a speechwriter for a Democratic candidate for governor this year, and I'm just starting out my career in politics and in advocacy and just trying to spread humanity first. And I just wanted to thank Andrew again, and I'm so grateful for all the work that all of you are doing. And I hope to be a part of it in a greater capacity one day. So thank you.
I'm sure you will be, William. Good speechwriters are hard to find. If you got some gubernatorial candidate to trust you on that at such an early stage in your career, like, sky's the limit for you. So, you'll end up working with us in no time.
Yeah, I think it's William, your talent is the most first generation immigrant needed. Okay, you can have a class for Humanity Forward Asian community. Next is how to pronounce your Ziga Williamson.
Hi, thank you, Don. Andrew, I worked on your rally at Piedmont Park, and we spoke briefly at your private fundraiser at I think it was a craft brewery or something. I'm an Atlanta resident. I'm very happy to welcome you back to Atlanta. So I'm very excited that you're here. You mentioned wanting to activate the younger voters, and so my question for you is, when are you going to brush off your fighting game skills and post a video on Twitch?
My team's been actually asking me to do a Twitch video, and I am sure I will do it. Maybe in the next number of days here from Georgia. A couple of name brand Twitch streamers want me to do it with them too. Folks who seem really cool and have huge followings that I frankly haven't heard of. but that's true of, I think, most of the top streamers. So this will happen, Ziggy. You are correct. It's overdue on my part. My team has been after me for it. And they are correct. You are correct. You know what else my team has been after me for that you might have seen is I joined TikTok a couple of weeks ago. And that was a very big step. And now I'm like a huge TikTok admirer because that platform is like its own language. It's wild. I can see why it has become so successful and addictive. So Twitch is its own thing too, Ziggy. So thank you for the prod. I will do a Twitch stream, I'm sure, in the next number of weeks, if not days.
Great.
Thank you. People like Twitch. Whenever you answer their question, they are so excited that they got a response on the Twitch. Thank you. Next is Jeff here. He's also from Atlanta. Jeff, it's your turn.
Just muted.
Unmute yourself, Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff. 中文名字叫谢振全律师。Well, I'm so happy to see all of you, and I still remember, many of the people when we have the meeting in California, right, Don?
Yes.
Like Rachel, Jackie, Joe. I met all of them except like Winston. I didn't meet Winston. But welcome to Georgia, Andrew and Hannah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I hope one day we can hang out together because I'm in Georgia. Maybe I can turn you with a good dinner in Atlanta area.
Social distance.
Yeah, social distance. We sit in 6 feet away. Okay. Andrew, I just have a question because I'm so proud of voters in Georgia. I mean, Georgia become very well known in this general election as a real battleground, But I wonder if we can, if I can organize an online meeting, just say welcome Andrew to Georgia, so you can talk to the Chinese voters and encourage them to go vote for the runoff, elections. I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah, no, Jeff, this is a great idea and exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about, where it's funny. It's like I find myself doing virtual things to help in Georgia, from Georgia. So if you reach out to my team and we can reach enough people, then that sounds like exactly what I'm here to do. And I'm here to do that, whether it's in person or online. There might be some people who are more, excited about the latter than the former. So certainly reach out to my team and, let's try and activate some Chinese American people right here in Georgia. That's great. And thank you for the support. You're right. It is exciting. It must be exciting to see your state go purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we just title like a meeting said Andrew Yang is back. So
yeah, it'd be fun.
Welcome Andrew Yang to Atlanta. So basically, you can. You still have so many fans here. I'm one of them. So I think we can get some voters come to see you or online. So, and then hopefully we can have more Chinese to vote in the runoff elections.
Okay.
So I can talk to Don, right? Arrange with Don.
Yeah, Don. Yeah.
Okay.
Don's the man.
Okay.
It's Rachel has a good friend there, and Jeff, you're there, and I have a whole name list. They are trustable friend, and I know they are all doers. So I'm going to put the next event. We're working together to make sure we have a social distance. We have some Chinese American event there. I'm really excited. It's Atlanta and Georgia this year, and the API community becoming so media focused areas. So it's everything you do now before the January 5th is going to boost the entire API community around the country. Thank you. Try to do something, and I will support you as much as I can. Thank you.
Great.
And
thank you.
Next is Dr. Jiang from Wisconsin. Thank you. You have been so good on follow the campaign all the way here. Thank you, Jiang. It's your turn, Dr. Jiang. Jiamingtao.
Andrew. Hello, everybody.
Hey,
This is Mingtao, the ginseng farmer from Wisconsin.
yeah, I order ginseng from you.
Free ginseng for everybody. Andrew, you have been such an inspiration to us all. For our business, we have been providing free seeds dividend, ginseng seeds dividend, to hundreds of forest farmers across about 19 states in the east part of the U.S. for the last few years. Now, a few of us Yangang actually is having our own UBI test on a few families in Kentucky because they're asking for help for emergency. So you have been inspiring us to do that. Now I'm in off season right now, or very soon. So I'll move down to Georgia. My business partner actually has settled down in Atlanta. So I may join Humanity Forward down there if there is something we can do. Thank you, Andrew, and thanks everybody. Thank you, Don.
Wow, that's so inspiring that you're running your own trial with these folks in Kentucky and giving away ginseng. I mean, who doesn't need ginseng? I feel like we all need ginseng. Yeah, like certain, and thrilled to have you down here again. To Hannah's earlier point, like we're still waiting on canvassing lists and some other materials, but there are always things that we can do, especially before December 7th. It sounds like Hannah's doing some voter registration efforts, which are universally needed. Really appreciate your support. I've seen you online, Ming, and I admired you from afar. Like I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's like a ginseng farmer in Wisconsin. Like what? I wanted to get to Wisconsin really bad. Like I thought I'd be at the DNC there, but then the DNC obviously went virtual.
Well, that's too bad. Well, I wish you rode my tractor in Iowa, but next time.
If we make a comeback, who the heck knows what the next cycle is going to look like? I mean, I know a lot of us really remember Iowa very fondly. Yeah, who knows? I don't know what the state situation is going to be. I'm just going to speak out loud for a minute, just going to say, so Iowa obviously had problems reporting its votes. And Iowa also may not be quite as purple anymore. Which would I think maybe affect people's considerations. So yeah, I'm sorry I missed that opportunity, Ming. I might have to go find your tractor in Wisconsin.
Welcome anytime.
Okay, I think it's we take Andrew's a lot of time already, so it's just make sure it's all people here. I know you all over at least 2 years. Some is more than 10 years, and nationwide is we have been doing the community work all together. And I appreciate that my boss Andrew has been run the very successful presidential election, and he didn't stop, and he continued leaders to go forward. So it's I'm happy all people here. I trust you. I believe in you, and continue. We have a continue making this country become our homeland, and to build a friendship and trust each other, continue work with Andrew. And I truly believe every time I saw your people, I'm so happy. And also it's the, thank you, Andrew. I hope you can have some time rest. I never want to call you, bother you to make it. I know, but I just try to do our work together and make sure it's that every step we go forward is correct and efficient. Thank you all. Andrew, you make a last
Thank you so
remark
much, everyone. Thank you from Georgia. Appreciate the heck out of your belief and support. And it's like Don said, it's like, what do? We just do the work. We do the work, and the world is to recognize our efforts here between now and January 5th. And that's how the movement's going to grow. I mean, that's kind of my style. It's Don's style. I sense it's the style of a lot of people here on this call. We just do the work, and then the world will come our way and move our direction. Thank you all so much. Have a great weekend. Happy Thanksgiving if I don't see you. Hopefully I'll
It's
see you
great.
guys.
Thanksgiving.
Thank
I'm
you.
saying
Bye
hi from
bye.
the golf course.
Bye.
Oh yeah, they'll hit it with the golf course.
Bye.
I'll see
right.
you in
Good
Taipei
night.
with Richie from Georgia.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Don.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Oh, thank you,
Joe,
John.
you want